hey, B-21 news, which thanks for putting all the information in the header. That's really useful. Really useful stuff, Gonky. You're just crushing it today. So news, this one's funny. So the Air Force isn't looking to buy more than 100 B-21s because it may come up with something better by the time. So they're already like, you know what? We're probably going to have something better by then. If history is our guide, we're going to have something better. They say, well, the B-21 is the future of the bomber force. Chief of Staff General Alvin told the Senate Armed Services Committee. More effective technology may appear before the B-21 production run is complete. 100 B-21s is the program of record. I think we're not going to reach that number until probably the mid-2030s and beyond. I mean, he's realistic. Yep. There are other technological advances that we'd be able to see to augment. Obviously, he's talking about the aliens. Before we commit, that as a platform will serve as the backbone of the future bomber force. Originally, the 2015 requirement was 80 to 100, and now it's at least 100. But then some have said 225 to 250, but now he's like, yep, you know what? We're going to stick with 100. He is proud of the progress. He says it's performing close to the original schedule. Milestone C approval to enter low-rate production. Man, that's fast. It had its first flight in November 2023. It's announcing its low-rate production. Didn't specify any terms due to its classifications. It's obviously for deep strike nuclear mission. Gonky.
Yes, sir.
We talk a lot. Well, we talk a lot. But we also talk a lot about the shortfalls of the defense contractor stuff, right? How long it takes to get something from the planning phase. And this is the exception because now we don't know how long stuff was happening behind the vault. So, I mean, it looks really fast to the public because it's like, bam, here's your B-21. Here you go. So what do you think about them only wanting 100? Do we need more, or is this like a hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge? We got better stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah, I read that article, and I got the impression, kind of like you're saying, it's like it's taken years to get to this point, and the B-21 is allegedly on time and on budget, but it may be obsolete. Maybe by the time I don't want to say obsolete. There may be better stuff, right? By the time it gets online. So man.
Well, we've been kind of beating the drum on the evolving landscape of warfare in general.
Right.
A lot of things have changed in the last 2 years, even where technologies are evolving. And look at what Ukraine has done they had a remote controlled Cessna that went into Russian territory and struck a infrastructure target, like a Cessna, a remote controlled, high wing, not that fast. And so when you think of it in those terms, yes, you always need bombers, and 100 is still a lot. I mean, how many B-2s are there?
Not many. But I mean, if you look at, like the B-1, originally was a high altitude, right? Supersonic, really fast bomber. And then I believe it was Carter that canceled it because they're like, oh no, this thing's not, but over the course of his development, I guess they determined like it's super expensive. And guess what? In today's battlefield, it's not going to be effective. And then Reagan brought it back, but it got a lot slower. And hey, this thing now flies low as a big bomber, right? So I don't know, man. We might see something like that where the B-21, the original design, or at least that the engineers and even the Air Force wanted, it may evolve while it is being developed to adjust to the changing landscape of aerial warfare.
Well, so there's 21 B-2s, 20 or 21. So that's still 5 times as many. That's still a significant number. I think there's a little bit of.
Well, they're looking to replace the B-1 too, right?
Yes, but what I'm saying is, there's still, that's a lot of slop because this is kind of that smaller, lighter, better version of the B-2 with new technologies, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of. They've talked about integrating it with the some of the new loyal wingmen, other technologies, stuff like that, hypersonic missiles, all that stuff, all that good stuff. So I think that it's good that the chief of staff is being forward thinking and saying, because we have a tendency to put all our eggs in one basket, and we always try to fight the last war. So I think it's not a bad thing, because you and I have talked about diversification of fleets, right?
Right.
It is smart to go, hey, this might not be all we need. It's still great, but we may have some other stuff that may come out that we might want to leverage or jump to or use in addition to. We're not canceling it. We're not going to put, we're not going to order 250 of them and that's it, because we've seen what happens, and we'll talk about this later, when you put all your eggs in one basket and that aircraft gets delayed and has issues and stuff like that. So in that sense, it could be very smart that they're doing this.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, just look at any modern airplane procurement or development, right? They start off with like, we want 750 Raptors, and then what we get, right? So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's 100 of them is still quite a bit, but I suspect that number will change.
You think it'll go lower? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
That's just my own unprofessional, salty 10% true prediction.
All right.